Hello, my name is Urban, and today I'm going to talk to you about my apps. So, for app one, I decided to improve the voting app, and I decided to add a GUI, decided to add identification, except handling in various cases, and I stored the data in a CVS file. So, let me show you. So, for my voting app, it looks like this. As you can see, you can vote only by number. So let's say there's vote 555 and Jane and submit vote. You can see it says vote sent. And if we try to do it again with the same vote, it says the ID has already been used. You can only type numbers. You can only type numbers in this box. No letters are allowed, as you can see. Let's try John with a different number. Vote sent. And if you try to send the vote without an ID number, it will tell you to input the ID. And as for the voting history is stored in a CVS file. When you open the file, it looks something like this, which keeps track of votes, as long as the ID. It also keeps track of the candidates you voted for. And for my second app, I decided to do a stock watch list app, and it's pretty much an app with an API that allows you to search stocks and add it to a watch list. I decided to do this because apps that I use like Robinhood, usually when I open them, they're clustered with a lot of information that is hard to, which makes it hard to navigate the app. So for this app, I decided to implement an API as long as data retrieving, matplotlib, the usage of PKI file usage, as well as a GUI. Like I said before, I took inspiration from Robinhood and Apple stocks, and the app looks like this. Let's see. Boom, boom. So this is how the app looks like. When you want to search for a stock, you just click. It only works by the ticker of the stock, so the name of the stock won't work, just the ticker. So Tesla, as you can see, it portrays a price currently right now. It also portrays a price from last month, and I can add it to a watch list if I want to. So if I click watch list, it will add it to my watch list. And when I view the watch list, it will portray the price of the stock as well as an option to display the graph. When I click the option to display a graph, it shows the performance of the stock over the last month. And I can also remove this stock from inside the watch list. But if I try to add the stock again, it will display that the stock is already in the watch list. Well, I can also remove it from here. Boom, boom. Let's try another one. Search. So you can see NVIDIA, the price, and the price from last month. And I can also add it to my watch list. Add it. Let's add another one. Search. And add to watch list. If the stock doesn't exist, it will display a message saying that the stock doesn't exist. So for example, X, search. Wait, that is a real stock. Now let's try ER. As you can see, it says the stock couldn't be found. But if we go back to a watch list, it displays both of my stocks. Also, the price updates in every action you do. So let's say, for example, when I open my watch list, the price will update to the current price. It doesn't stay like a static price. It updates, as well as here. Every time I search, the price updates. It retrieves the data from the API. So let's look for Tesla again. Every time I do an action in the app, it will retrieve data from the API, so it keeps the numbers fresh. Also, add an option here that that says where that market is open or closed. Because when a market is closed, the numbers may appear weirdly because the numbers may not move because the market is closed, of course, so it wouldn't show them. Also, I have a button for the clear watch list. Let's see. As you can see, my watch list looks like this. When I first clear watch list, it clears the whole thing. And the watch list, like I said before, it's stored in a file. And every time I open the watch list, the numbers of the stocks update to the current price. And yeah, so knowledge gain. Of course, I gained the knowledge to implement my API and retrieve various data. It was really hard to do this for me because I didn't know how to implement an API before, but I did learn a lot. Like retrieves data from certain time periods, and as and also current data, which I didn't know anything about. I also learned how to implement Matplot, which which was hard too because I had to use the data that I took from the API and make a graph out of Matplot, which of course I didn't know how to do that either, which was hard. I also learned a lot about Tinker, a lot more about the request module, and of course about the pickle module as well, which that one was hard for me because I didn't know what it was. But yeah, thank you. So as a feedback for App One, when I first presented my project during the conference call, I lacked like the ID verification. It also looked different, so I implemented the feedback that teacher said to me, plus the feedback shown in the video of of the App One. As for App Two, when I showed it at the conference, it didn't have the API implemented yet. It only had stocks that I typed, which was not like nothing good or bad. It was just to demonstrate how it was. But like the teacher said, I need to implement the API, and I did. And also, the teacher told me to like find a purpose for the app. And for in my case, the purpose of the app is just to look at the stocks that you have and to make it easier somehow. So like I said before in Robinhood, every time you open the app, at least for me, it's closer with information. And I made this app with the concept of opening the app and going to your stocks. The stocks at least you have saved and seeing how they're doing. In the future, I plan to implement the to somehow implement my own portfolio into it, like being able to buy the stocks directly from my program and also seeing how much money I have in those stocks. And here are some sources I use. Here's a key to API and also some YouTube videos. Let me show them to you. So here's one I watch, how to fetch APIs with Python, how to use Matplotlib, which I didn't know how to use, and also how to what the pickle module is and what is it used for. As you can see here, it's used for JSON, which is the thing I use in my app. Also, a lot more videos on how to pull data from the API because I had no idea how to do so. And just a quick tutorial about Tinker because I forgot some stuff. But yep, it was project 2 was definitely hard because it deal with real time data and time, which I had no experience prior to that. But like I said, I implemented the feedback that you told me to actually use the API and make a purpose of it, make the app purposeful. And for my future project, like I said, I plan to add my portfolio into it so the API, so the app knows how much money I have. And I also want to make it possible to buy stocks from my app, but that's later on the road.